Welcome to episode 76 of the Mile 20 podcast where epic shit happens. My name is Lori and I'm here with my bestie,
Laura.
And we are coming to you really hot off of the ET Full Moon Marathon in Rachel, Nevada. It's been an interesting weekend.
How hot is hot, Lori?
Well, I think the real feel outside is about 106 in Vegas.
And we just ran the shit like this morning because this race started at midnight and we finished it at about 7:30 in the morning.
Yes, and it is currently 8 p.m.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So why did we run the ET marathon?
I'm going to apologize in advance. There's no sense in hiding the giggles. Okay.
Yeah.
So we are coming to you with this episode really the way we sometimes experience
Life.
occasionally our lives. So we ran the marathon.
Yeah.
No sleep. We came back to Vegas, checked into the JW Marriott in Vegas, thanks to Laura. Took about a 2-hour nap, tops.
Like tops.
Tops. And then we had an interview we had to do. And then we went downstairs and sat at a wine bar for a little bit and
for
had
about 2 hours.
Had some snacks and then went out to head to dinner and then another bottle of wine.
And now we're drinking Surfsides.
Surfsides?
It's in Surfsides, not Surfsides, Surfsides. Yeah.
So you're getting a very raw account of sometimes how we have fun on our weekends when we're away and we're running marathons.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, this episode is going to recap the ET Full Moon Marathon. And this is in Rachel, Nevada, which is on the Extraterrestrial Highway. Look, I said that word without like slurring.
It was beautiful, man.
Right? And the race starts at midnight. So we've talked about this. It fucks up like your entire, like everything you do before a race, the night before your race, your prep before the race, your food before the race, like everything before a race that happens in the morning. This thing happens at midnight and it screws up your entire system. So we're going to talk about this race. This is the second time we've done this one. And we actually interviewed the race director, Joyce, I think it was 2 episodes ago. Right?
I think so.
And so we're going to do a little bit of a recap on just like kind of like what our experience was with this race. Again, being very, 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 very back of the Packers. But it's not a huge race. I mean, it's less than 1,000 people that end up running the overall race, like all the races combined, right?
Yeah, which is a 51K, a marathon, a half marathon, a 10K, and a 5K. So it's really a night full of all different distances, and it's really kind of cool. It's a very neat experience.
It is. And I know that you and I have like kind of like mixed emotions about being in the desert, right? So the desert, it's such a unique place. But it's also like kind of like a mundane place, right? As well.
Yeah, like a lot of brown. There's
a lot of brown.
But there are more mountains than you would expect. Like you kind of expect when you think about a desert for it to be kind of flat. It's a lot of brown, but there are these majestic mountains. I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, the majestic mountains majesty.
This is just about as raw mile 20 as you can get. I mean, raw. I mean, you'd have to actually go back to probably our 2 a.m. episode, France, to be equivalent.
So to be fully transparent, so Lori and I end up doing this race this morning, and I had massive, we're just going to call it massive. If you can put massive in capital letters, all in capital letters, massive gastro issues. So the elevation of this race is just shy of 5,000 feet above sea level. And my body does not respond well to like elevation changes. And as soon as I get into that space and I'm running, it's like all of a sudden, like just everything just starts like over functioning. We're just going to call it that. So we built in 6 porta-john potty stops into this race. So this was not a wonderful morning that we spent together.
But it was at the
It
same time.
was. Yes, I agree.
It's bittersweet.
Yes, yes, yes. This is true.
I'm really struggling with my words right now, just simply because of how sleep deprived I am
Yeah.
and maybe a little bit buzzed.
Well, how much sleep have you gotten in the past like 2 days? Like,
About 2 hours.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why would you run? Why did we come back out here and run the
Yeah,
ET
why
full moon?
did we come back out? Because we did this in 2020.
We did, and when
And we had a previous episode that we like recounted this.
yes, which I highly encourage you to go back and listen to. So this experience was vastly different. The first time we came out here, we drove out here. We were with Maddie, Laura's oldest daughter, and my oldest, well, your only daughter,
It's okay.
my oldest daughter, Maggie. And it's just a different experience. It was 2020. And when we interviewed Joyce, we found out that that was a one and only time
Yeah.
that they started the race at the black mailbox on the extraterrestrial highway. And then we ran up through
Yeah.
Summit,
Yes,
Coyote
the summit.
Summit,
Yeah.
and then came back. Um, this time was kind of interesting. And I feel like we kind of poorly jinxed Joyce because when we were
Oh, I felt
interviewing
so
her,
bad for her.
yeah. So there is a wildfire going on somewhere right now in Nevada. And there it was some smoke particulate in the air when we started this
It was
morning.
it was heavy this morning.
Yeah, it was way heavier. Luckily it got better as the morning
I
progressed.
agree because when we first got out of the rental Jeep, you and I were like, "Oh
Oh my God.
shit, like I feel like I'm sitting by a freaking campfire with like s'mores."
Yeah,
Like it felt like it was like right in your face.
it was heavy. Um, right before the race, as we were like the 51K and the marathon went off together, and as we were standing there together, Joyce kind of announced to the group that because of the smoke in the air and because people have varying tolerances to, with their lungs and everything to that kind of particulate, that what they decided to do was make it a two-loop course, which is like kryptonite in my mind. And for about 20 minutes, I had to really battle with what that means in my head because I absolutely hate double loops.
Because it means like out and back and then out and back.
Well, it means you run, you come back, you're at the finish line, but guess what?
And then you go back again because like one time was not enough.
Yes. Good news is when you start a marathon at midnight, though, is that when you go out, it's dark. When you come back, it's dark. You go out, it kind of starts to
I
get light.
know.
And then by the time you're coming back, you have the majesty. What, Purple Mountains majesty? Is that what you said this
I
morning?
did. I did.
You have the majesty of watching the sunrise over the mountains in the desert, and it was fabulous.
It was absolutely fabulous.
Even the nighttime running piece of it was so fabulous last night. It started out a little warm. It was about 80, 78, 80 when we
Yeah,
started.
real feel, yeah.
And then it dropped down as the night progressed and it
Yeah,
got more and more pleasant.
it got a lot cooler. And then at certain points in time, we had like headwinds and tailwinds and like just depending upon what direction you were headed in. So that was super nice because we both had like tank tops on and shorts and we both felt very, very comfortable
Yeah.
without those. And we usually run with our visors. And very early on, you took off your visor and you were like, oh shit. Like I feel like a million times better without the visor on at this point in time when it was like still warm out. So I took my
And
visor.
dark.
Yes, dark.
There was no need for
Yes.
it yet.
But what was really funny is we get to the start line and we meet our friend Matt, who we had talked to when we were in the
At a bar.
at a bar at the Mad Marathon, and we when we mentioned him in a previous episode. So Matt is there with his girlfriend,
Misty.
Misty, right? And like, so we met her and we're like, kind of like, hello, conversing and so forth. And then he's looking at Lori and I because we both, now mind you, this is like at about like
Mi
11:40 at night.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Lori and I both have sunglasses like tucked on our visors.
And visors, yeah.
And he's like, what's up with the sunglasses? Like,
And I'm like, dude, we're going to be running when the sun comes up. So the sunglasses are a necessity.
yes, and we use them.
Yes, we did. Very much so.
Now, Lori, why did we run this race again? Like we did this in 2020. We say this is one of our most epic races that we have ever done because of the circumstances. We did it with our daughters, all the stories that surround it. So why did we do it again?
I think it's the allure of running at midnight in the deserts.
So different, isn't it?
It's so different than any other experience you will
And it
ever have.
sucks ass. It sucks ass. Like doing it.
However, I do feel like this time I mastered the energy factor.
You did.
The first time, I will tell you, I literally felt like there were about the halfway mark. I felt like I was running and I could have closed my eyes and slept while my feet kept moving. I started because I'm hypersensitive to caffeine, and I think if you know what your caffeine levels are and what it takes to make you more energetic, like to kind of give you a little bit of an edge, for me, that's just, a cup of tea or two. And
Yeah.
I had 2 cups of tea after 5 p.m. last night. And I know that caffeine usually works in me about 12 hours. And my God, I felt fantastic for most of the run. I was
Yeah.
awake
Yeah.
and perky.
Yeah,
It was perky.
yeah, you were definitely the ever ready bunny, man. Like and it was like, yeah, I probably should have done a little caffeine-ish as well. But
Well, you did your first stop
yeah, my
for
first go, my
nutrition.
first nutrition thing
Yeah.
was a caffeine, but yeah, it can never match it. So let's just leave it at that. So all right, so we decided to go and do this run again because look, at the end of the day, we enjoyed it in 2020 because I mean for a multitude of different reasons. But we just felt like, you know what, this is like it's just so unique.
It's so
It's so
unique.
unique. And we haven't come across any other marathons that start at like midnight at night
No, nothing at midnight, not under a full moon,
and running on the extraterrestrial highway.
and nothing with the threat of aliens.
Yes.
And a bonus is also that the person's meteor shower is starting. So there were several falling stars.
How many did you see, Lori?
I saw 6.
I saw two.
I was very hyper fixated on the sky.
Yes, you were, because I was staring at the ground
I
and you
was
were like,
staring
you're
at the
like
sky. I literally could not stop staring at the sky. I mean, obviously, because the moon is out, you don't get the stars like you would really like to see them. You don't see the Milky Way, it's too muted out. However, you still get to see like all the major constellations. And if you just keep an eye out, this time of year, you can see the shooting stars. And the first one we saw together, though, it was funny because it was like one of those slow falling stars. And it literally fell over where we know Area 51
and
is.
she's like, oh, that just went to Area 51.
I'm like,
So
that was an alien landing. I know it. That's a UFO. It was an unidentified flying object.
yeah,
I cannot confirm it was a falling star.
no, no. But so do we want to talk about the race and then talk about like what we did outside of the race?
Yes.
Okay. So the race packet pickup was actually like at the race start. So there's no like at least for people who didn't take buses from Las Vegas. So they offer like a bus option where people from who stay in Las Vegas, which was about a 2 hour, 15 minute bus ride. You could stay in Las Vegas, you sign up for a bus option, and you picked up your packets like somewhere here in
I
Vegas.
thought everybody picked up their packet
Oh,
there.
I thought they got them here.
No, I
No,
think everybody picked it
I
up
may be
there.
wrong there. Um,
That's why they were getting inundated with the buses coming.
well, I know, and like for us, like we landed at about like a little bit before 11 o'clock,
Hmm.
and we got online. We got our packet. What I say our packet, like we got our bib
Sure.
and our shirt and our chip. Now the chip, just for you to understand, most chips now like are embedded in the running bib. These chips are like kind of like old school where like you have like the zip ties and you got to put them on your sneakers. So that was kind of like cool. It was like a little bit nostalgic, you
Yes,
know,
I
because there were people
agree.
like, oh, we remember these. So that was kind of neat to go and do that. But
Which is very important to remember that when you finish, you actually have to stop and let them
you
remove
can't keep
the
it.
tag
Yes.
from your shoe.
Yes, you can't keep it. But and then the start, they had all of the marathoners and ultra marathoners. So they were doing what, a
51K.
51K. They had all of us start at midnight, and then they had the half marathoners start at like 12:30. And then I can't remember what time they had like the 10K and 5K people start as well. I don't know how many people total that Joyce had, signed up for like the overall, like all of the races combined. But we'll take a look at that and see like what the
I
final
I
was.
know she's never broke 1,000 runners amongst all,
Yeah.
I think all the races,
It
but
did not feel like there were 1,000 people there.
no, there were 4 full bus loads, and then, of course, there was a decent amount of people that drove themselves, but it wasn't by no means crazy. Like it was super easy to get there
Yeah.
and park and everything.
Yeah, and the start, I guess, has changed like year over year over year. So this year, the start was at the Cowpoke, in Rachel, Nevada, which Lori and I had the pleasure of after the race, this morning. The Cowpoke was still open, and this is like this little, like kind of like I'm just gonna call it a general store,
Kind of gas station
gas
thing.
station,
Yeah.
like general store, very small, but like under some new ownership apparently. And so the husband of the couple that owns the place, he was running the register, and
Sweet,
just
man.
super nice dude.
Yeah.
Like it just and these are the reasons why we run these like obscure races, is just to like meet new people and talk to people and understand how they live on a day to day and so forth. But he gave us like some free like stickers. Like we collect stickers, from everywhere we travel. And
Yeah.
it was so cool. He's like, we just appreciate y'all like being here and like, like just being part of the community. And so he gave us the stickers for free. I thought that was so cool.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel this race overall, it's a well-run race, but it's stripped down and very simple.
It's Bear.
It's very bare, but I feel the whole experience between running at midnight till the dawn in the middle of a desert, it's just unlike anything else.
I feel like in a lot of races, like the race directors have to like put on the show, right? Like they have to like orchestrate like the start, the finish, like all that jazz. I feel like the show is the desert,
Yeah,
right?
it is. It's so much so the show that I mean, you have the stars. But then even coming in
Mm.
during the daylight, you're noticing things that you never noticed before, like the plethora of
Plethora.
scorpions that
Scorpions.
we saw dead on the road.
So I had never seen a scorpion like live in like I'm just gonna say like in real nature, like not in a zoo. And we're coming back on our last leg.
There was a small segment.
Oh my God, there had to be like eight or so like scorpions, like, but they were like dead on the road. And like Lori and I were like pontificating on, wow, did people when they like ran out or back or so like were people stepping on these like
They
scorpions?
had to
Because
be
because
stepping. They looked
they were all
fresh.
dead. They were all dead.
They were dead and fresh.
Yes, dead and fresh.
We were all stepping
We
on
were all
scorpions and didn't know it. I don't know.
but these scorpions, they were like desert sand color.
Yeah,
So they were like they were like this light beige color. I like I've never seen a scorpion like
no.
ever in nature. But then it's to see a scorpion and it's like a totally different color. I was like, they're like chameleons. Like,
Yes.
yeah. So that was pretty trippy.
My other favorite part of the moment,
I know.
morning.
Yep.
Yeah. So of course, we were listening to our music, and then all of a sudden we started hearing something, and I'm like, "Oh," or you were
Like,
like,
yep.
"Oh," we were both
It's
like,
yep,
"Oh," and
yep.
I paused it. Coyotes. like multiple coyotes
Yes.
yipping and howling in the distance.
Yeah, and there were a lot of
It was
coyotes.
magical.
Yes, and they were super loud, and we stopped and we just listened, and it was like part of nature, and I don't it was just it was absolutely awesome.
It was really cool. They were very far away, thank God,
Yes.
but it was amazing. It was really cool to listen to.
Yeah.
Now, our travel out there was very, well, our travel here was very different.
Yeah.
And if you listen to our previous episodes, there was definitely a little bit of a rub as to how we felt. We had two different perspectives as to how we wanted to approach this trip.
So what were the two perspectives?
Um, my perspective was that I hate Vegas and I wanted to
Yep.
be as far away from Vegas as possible. I know many people love Vegas and I'm not dissing
Yep.
that.
No, not knocking
It
it.
it has its own allure. I get that, but that's just not what I'm into. And I've been here and I was just here in February with my mom because she
Yeah.
wanted to come for her 75th birthday. So I'm like, I don't like it to begin with, and I already did it. So I wanted to be as far away from Vegas as possible. And then what was your perspective?
So I came to the realization because I said to Lori I wanted to have more of a bougie weekend where I could lounge by the pool and be at a wine bar and so forth. Because the first go around, like we roughed it, like coming out here because we did a pop-up trailer. But then last night, because we were talking about this of like why I was like so like, like just kind of fixated on like having like more of a bougie weekend is that like for the past 2+ months I have spent kind of roughing it in our house because like our kitchen is being renovated and I needed a break from that. And I didn't articulate
She
that to you
never articulated that to me.
until last night after I was like, well, why did I want like to go and have like why did I want to be in Vegas and you wanted to be in like, like this like small mining town. So where did we end up staying like the first like couple of nights?
So I found a really very cool,
Very cool.
very
Yes.
cool Airbnb in Pioche, Nevada.
Pioche.
Pioche, C-H.
Pioche.
And I think she has an Instagram account with Pioche Retreats. Super amazing, awesome host. Leslie,
Five
you were the
stars.
bomb.
5 stars.
She had 5 stars, and I told you she was 5 stars.
She was 5 stars.
Let me just tell you, fresh flowers
She because she knew that we were coming in after midnight because we both landed on what was it on
Thursday night.
Thursday night at like I don't know like 8 something at night and then like we didn't come in until like after midnight because it was like a 3 hour drive. She actually bought us like subs and had like subs in like the fridge and like Corona
Beers.
beers
Remember the beers with
with the
lime?
limes and
Yes.
fresh flowers and so forth. So yeah, just absolutely fantastic host.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was amazing. She's probably one of the most amazing hosts I've had.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had really great Airbnbs, but this the attention to detail that Leslie had was amazing. But I kind of had focused on being the hell away from Vegas, but wanted to be close to Rachel, Nevada, but nothing is close to Rachel,
No.
Nevada. And I knew Laura likes 5 star experiences. And I knew that that was important. And there was nothing close by until I found Pioche. And I found this Airbnb and I was like, why not? Because it was talking about being walking distance to a little mining town and that there were restaurants, bars, and things, and a
Yeah.
little grocery store and all that. And I was like, sure, that works. There's stuff nearby, there's state parks and stuff like that. So then we went.
Yeah, so we ended up landing in Vegas on Thursday night and then it was a 3 hour drive.
Yes.
So that was a lot. That was a lot because we were both tired. I mean, you were my Yoda. Lori will always go and take the wheel and drive. So we get into Pioche very, very late. We get into the house, lovely house, absolutely lovely. And then daylight hit. And the town is like an old mining town from like the established in the late 1800s, kind of died in the 1930s
Yeah.
and there's been some revitalization of the town but not a lot So when we figured out that, oh, there's really like only one restaurant in town, we ended up eating there 3 times.
Yes.
And we were supposed to, after we finished the race on Sunday morning, go back to Pioche and stay there, and then the following day, like fly it back home. I had proposed to Lori because of the food issue being having a gluten allergy. I had extreme limitations in that environment. And I also like tomorrow morning have like some really, really early morning like conference calls. And I'm like, dude, we had no cell service for like freaking like 2 hours that we drove. So we ended up tonight, we're Sunday night, is Sunday, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Sunday night. We're actually like in it, like outside of Vegas, going and staying in a hotel.
You have to forgive us if we're a little vague as to what day and time it is, because again, we've been up over 24 hours at this point.
Yes.
So we're struggling through this and we're so glad you're listening. But 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 it is a struggle right now. But it was I felt bad that there was only the one restaurant, but there was a little bit of a charm to the town and
The people were
the
lovely.
people were lovely.
Lovely.
And like they have an aerial tram there from the old silver mining days with a huge wooden structure when you first enter the town. And that was cool. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And then when you walk through the town, it feels like a traditional kind of Western town.
Yes. So the cool thing that we researched is that like all of these like old buildings had parapets. So it almost looks like a keystone at the top of the building on the facade. And they were actually designed that way. We found out to actually make the buildings look bigger, more prestigious. So that way, when people were coming into the town, they thought that the town would be more prosperous.
And it's funny because where our Airbnb was, we were up on a hill.
Mhm.
So you could look down on the town and we saw the buildings with the parapets on them. And
But we saw the rooftops too.
yeah, you can see the roof lines behind them. And I'm like,
Wah,
why?
wah, wah.
Why doesn't the storefront match what's going on with the roof line? I'm like, that's so bizarre, but it's just such a traditional feature of Western architecture. And
Yes.
so it was neat. It was a neat little town.
I loved it that the town also at 8:05 every night had these like string lights that ran through the town, and they actually illuminated at 8:05 every night.
Yes.
And that was really cool. And then like one night, what was it? Friday night, we sat outside and we actually watched the moonrise. And to watch the moonrise, like you have to be like kind of like in place and dedicated to like the cause, right?
Yes.
Which I felt like both of us were like on Friday night.
Yeah.
I was like, we're just chilling, we're just going and like watching this thing like happen. And it was like the coolest damn freaking thing. It was like watching like the moon in Pioche like rise up over like the draw that was like between two of the mountains. And then just like illuminate the town was absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pioche is really kind of cool because it is in an interesting part of Nevada.
Yes, we learned that.
Yes, we did.
Why
We
are we saying
learned
Nevada
Nev
versus Nevada?
Nevada is the way you're supposed to be
Yes.
pronunciating it. But they have a lot of cool state parks
Mhm.
nearby that are very interesting and accessible. Curiously, I knew that there wasn't a lot in the town, so I was trying to think of a way to make Laura happy with the fact that we weren't at the JW Marriott on Friday and Saturday night. So I packed and checked our inflatable paddleboard. So on Saturday morning, we went over to Spring Valley State Park and went into what is it, was it Eagle Valley Reservoir, I
Yeah.
think,
Yes.
that was in Spring Valley, blew that sucker up and we paddleboarded around the reservoir. There was some cool stuff in there.
There was some really cool stuff, and we saw some incredible birds. We saw these ducks and blue herons and Canadian geese. But so I sat on the front. Lori did all the paddling, and I don't know, we killed like about an hour and a half, going and doing that, but that was really cool to go and like just kind of like be out in nature and experience that.
I always think it's kind of cool when you're in a water feature in the desert because it's like so contrary to what you think a desert is. Desert's dry, but yet there's this reservoir with water. It doesn't make sense.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
And then the restaurant that we referenced earlier in Pioche, so it's called the Silver Cafe, and Silver Cafe because this was again a mining town that like mined, like one of the things they mined for was for silver, and so this is renowned as the oldest cafe in Nevada.
Nevada.
And we keep saying Nevada versus Nevada because we got schooled by a bartender in Pioche who said that, oh, like all of us locals and the people like in the state pronounce it as Nevada versus Nevada. So we're like, oh, okay. Um, but we ended up going to visit a couple of bars as well as a restaurant that was like the oldest like cafe or not, yeah
Yes,
the
cafe
oldest cafe
in
in
Nevada.
Nevada, and that was called the Silver Cafe. We actually ate there 3 times because there weren't any other food
There
options.
was one other
Yes,
food,
Kathy's.
no, Alamo.
Yes,
The
at
Alamo Club.
Kathy's. Yes.
Yeah. But the Alamo Club had the exact same menu as the Silver Cafe.
Yes.
So, you know,
So what Lori and I established in this whole experience was we're really blessed that we live in an area in Pennsylvania that has the diversity of not only people but food, and that at any given time we can go and make a decision. I want
Mexican.
Mexican. I want Chinese food. I want Indian food tonight. I want American food tonight. I want Italian food tonight. And there are a multitude of options, like layers of options. There were really no options for these people in Pioche.
No, it's
So,
a small town.
no, it absolutely is. It
It's a
absolutely is.
small town. And the other piece to it as well was, and I wasn't aware that when you go into a Nevada bar, that smoking is legal.
Hmm.
Like it's okay. Like I think in Pennsylvania, we're very used to that you just don't smoke indoors. So, we went to the Alamo Club to have a cocktail, and it was interesting, that the clientele were smoking
Heavenly.
heavily. So it was like a whole new experience because I wasn't overly used to that for a lot of years because it's been a while since that has
Agreed.
been outlawed.
Agreed.
Not, not judging on it. It's just different because I'm not exposed to it anymore.
Yeah.
We also took a little gander down to the Overland Hotel, which is an old historic hotel in town that has a really kind of unique bar as well. Very historic bar.
Oh, which by the way, all of their rooms are themed.
I
They have
don't
a,
know
si-
what that
they
means.
have a sign on the outside of their hotel to go and announce that like all of their rooms are themed. And we're like, we should probably go in and take a look at that. Like, what does that
I
mean?
don't know what that means. It is also a very highly haunted hotel. So you need to Google the Overland Hotel in Pioche, Nevada to figure out all the hauntings. But even while we were being served by the bartender literally stood in front of us and went, kind of looked aghast all of a sudden. And we
And
were,
we're like, what?
yeah,
What?
what? And she's like, I think I saw something out of the corner of my eye. And
But she thought she saw the ghost that like lingers, the male ghost that lingers in the
one of the
downstairs hour. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, you know, it's unique. It's just a unique little town.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of character, not a lot of diversity of food. So it brought us to a very interesting pre-game meal. So normally we always eat pizza before a marathon. Pizza was
Not an option in Pioche.
no, especially if you need to be gluten-free like Laura does. So we decided that instead we would go to the grocery store and see if we could just find meat and potatoes and, what we could find to eat.
Yep.
So we picked up a lovely pork tenderloin. I got a regular potato, you got a sweet potato. And so we made our own dinner last night
It was delicious.
it was delicious before we took off for the marathon. So it was kind of cool. Oh, but I would be remiss if I forgot one thing. What is the other thing we did?
Oh, the Cathedral Gorge.
Gorge.
Oh. Mm. So on Saturday morning, we woke up very early and we decided to go and hike this a state park called Cathedral Gorge. And it is this absolutely like phenomenal sandstone gorge that as like wind and weather and water and so forth have weathered, these sandstones, and they actually resemble like cathedral spires from Europe. So Lori and I drove maybe like 10, 15 minutes down the road
It's
from.
not far from Pioche.
Yeah. And so Saturday morning we went and followed the trail. I think we did like a 2.8 mile trail, in like the one part of the park. And then we did what were the spire,
The moon
the
caves.
moon caves. And these are like these incredible like walls that how would you describe it? Is there slot canyons?
It's like a little slot
Yeah.
canyon. A lot of people go to Bryce Canyon
Yeah.
because of the hoodoos and things like that. This felt like a miniature Bryce Canyon. It
I
wasn't
agree.
it wasn't as grand as Bryce
I agree.
Canyon, but yet with the hike that we did that kind of took us into the valley where all of the rock formations were around us, it still kind of felt like a small amphitheater because it kind of surrounded you and it was smaller, less traveled. I mean, we saw one other person while we were on the trail. So it's very unique and it's super cool. And we did see one thing that was super cool right towards the end of our hike.
What was that?
You tell
No,
me.
you tell me.
A fox.
How foxy was the fox?
The fox is super foxy.
The fox was tiny though, compared to like Pennsylvania foxes
Yes,
with a big ass tail.
but it had a little black tip right at the end of the tail.
Yes, it did. It did. And
Yeah.
it was curious with us. We like Lori caught sight of it. We got it on video and camera. But the fox it definitely stopped and like was checking us out like are you a threat? Are you a whatever? But we thought that was really cool because we hadn't seen like any wildlife really other than some birds like in the area.
And a deer at our
Yes.
Airbnb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fox was so cool. And that was right as we were exiting the gorge.
No, I totally agree. So Laura, I mean, we've talked a lot about the race, the course, as well as like what we chose to do in Pioche. I do like to go and add that we stayed in Pioche on Friday night and Saturday night. Here it is Sunday night, and we're in Vegas. The reason why we moved to Vegas for Sunday night was not because the Airbnb sucked. The Airbnb was absolutely phenomenal, but we realized that our flight is earlier tomorrow morning, and I have a couple of conference calls for work, and we don't get really good cell service between here and Pioche.
None in some
And
cases.
yeah, so these weren't calls that I can go and like take, in the car. So and then also because we mentioned earlier that we ate at the same restaurant for 3 meals in a row.
I
uh,
needed something else. You needed something
we
else.
both needed something else, and like having a food allergy, like you take a menu that is like, maybe 5 items deep and you compress it to like maybe a half of an item, and like, so anyway, we ended up driving from the race because we packed up the house, we put everything into the Jeep, and then we came to like the outside of Vegas after the race.
We did stop
Oh,
at Mitch's Bar and Grill, which is in Coyote Springs.
10 stars. 10 stars.
There is nothing to eat really between Rachel, Nevada and Vegas, and I was getting hangry.
Like to the point where you were like, dude, my priorities are eat, shower, sleep. And you kept saying that over and over. And I'm like, oh, dude, I got you. I got you.
And I really like I'm such a low key person that when I start demanding shit, usually I'm in
I
overload.
got you.
Yeah,
I took care of you.
you did. So we ended up at Coyote Springs is like a Jack Nicholson golf
It is.
course. Um,
And we do ate at Mitch's.
yeah, Mitch's Bar and Grill, which is I guess is their bar and grill there for the golf course, but they had breakfast
Yeah.
burritos that were phenomenal. And the late and I don't even know what their
I didn't
names
catch her
were,
name.
her name that were working there. The employees were amazing.
Yeah.
So highly recommend that. Do know that they do have a valet service there. So somebody may come out and be like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm just parking to go to the restaurant." And they were totally cool, but yeah, they did kind of look at us a little odd because we didn't valet.
Yeah, but I would like to add that when I mentioned to the wait staff that I had a gluten allergy and I couldn't like do my meal the way that, it was kind of like pre-made. She was like, "Oh my God, we can like totally go and accommodate that." So like 5 stars
Yeah,
for that.
they
So
were great.
yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Now, the shirts.
Shirts. So the first year we did it, it was long sleeve t-shirt, long sleeve
Yes.
t-shirts. That is an oxymoron.
No,
It makes
no, but
absolutely no sense.
I'm tracking you. I'm tracking you.
It was a long sleeve shirt,
Yes.
which I love and still wear. This year, I don't know if I'm upset. It's a t-shirt. I don't really wear race t-shirts, but I like it.
Yeah.
Where is it? Here you go.
Here.
Got it.
Yep, I got you.
It's cute. How did it fit you? You wore it today. I did not.
It fit me fine. It's a V-neck.
Oh, it is a V-neck. I didn't
Yes.
notice that.
And it's a lighter weight material. It's got the ET Full Moon Marathon. Is it navy bluish black color? And on the back it just says run Calico running. So
And it doesn't just strictly say marathon either.
no, and everybody who ran today got one of these shirts. So there's no delineation between like the marathon, half marathon, so forth. I think everybody who runs the ET anything is like a little bit batshit crazy. So,
Agreed.
you know,
And the metal was almost the exact, is very similar metal to what we had
in 2020.
in 2020. Wasn't this a year like a notable year?
This is the 20th year.
The 20th year. There's nothing that suggests that it's the 20th year on it.
They
Um,
could the medals could have been more special. But again, like after talking to Joyce, the race director 2 weekends ago, I mean, she kind of keeps stuff like no frills. So, she probably has like a lot of these like medals and just has them made like bulk. And like whether you're running the 5K or the 20 or the 26.2, the ultra, you're getting like the same medals. So there could be like down the road, like some investment in that regard, but like for the most part, like Lori and I were okay with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, one of the things that Laura thought would be a good idea. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Lori was just looking at the medal and it actually says the full moon midnight marathon, 51K, half marathon, 10K, 5K. So every single person who did any kind of run this morning got the same medal. So it's okay. And by the way, I think this is the same exact medal that we got when we did the race in 2020.
Well, this one is green. I think ours is white.
Oh, is it?
I do. I think ours is white.
Okay,
I don't think it's
I thought
green.
ours was green, but okay.
It's very similar
Okay.
though. Um, I'm thrown off because I just caught
Okay.
I
No, it's okay. So, would you do this race again, Lori? Because we've done this now twice.
um I would
I'm a hard no.
I would definitely so all
I
right.
would recommend
All right, let's go through it. Let me go through my caveats. Okay. If you are a person who
everybody who's listening is a person.
no. If you are a person who's going to go mental, sitting all day knowing you're running a marathon at midnight and incapable of figuring out what you should be doing leading up to that. If that is going to drive you crazy, this is not the marathon for you.
No.
Figure out another one to do. Um, I would recommend this marathon. I do wish that the marathon had its own medal, but I'm a medal snob, so I admit that.
Snob or
Um,
hoe?
both. Um, um, but running in the desert overnight, watching the sun come up is such a unique experience that whatever the frills are surrounding the race, it almost doesn't
They're
matter.
insignificant.
It's,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, did we even get to the point that, did we talk about the fact that, oh, we did talk about the fact that it was double looped.
Yes.
Even the fact that it was double looped did not even crush me this morning.
Yeah.
Um, I sat for a while and thought I was going to be bothered by it, but even the double loop didn't bother me. So I would recommend this. Would I run it again? I could probably be persuaded to run it again. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
You?
I would recommend this to folks that want a very, very unique running experience, but I would not recommend it as a brand new marathoner. Like this would have to be like a race like you run, as you've run a couple races. Just because like because it's at a higher altitude, it's almost at 5,000 foot above sea level, and your body goes into like definitely like or it could go into some survival modes because of the high altitude. I just to overshare, I definitely had gastro issues throughout the race. I do believe that Lori and I hit 6 porta-johns throughout the race.
You weren't alone
I
in the
know.
gastro
I was
distress.
not. I was not. But it's definitely something to contemplate as a runner, like when you're thinking about like what you're throwing in your tummy, and what needs to be kind of digested, before the race. Like really, really thinking that through before making commitments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I would recommend the race, but I wouldn't necessarily run the race again. Yeah. So, and then the medals we talked about in terms of them being very, very consistent with like what we received in 2020 versus being something unique. So next week we are interviewing Marie Bartoletti, and Marie is oh my God, she like absolutely incredible woman. We met her in Myrtle Beach
She's a light.
at like a light in a race, and we actually just saw her what
And
three weekends ago in
the Mad
the Mad
Marathon.
Marathon. And so Marie, just a little bit about her backstory. She is an avid marathoner. She actually had a stroke a number of years ago and has actually like overcome like having a stroke, and I mean, she's still out in the running community. I mean, like we just ran a marathon with her like 3 weekends ago. So we're gonna interview her and what her story is, and really like what it takes to go and overcome the odds of like basically like stuff that's happening with your body, and how do you overcome what's happening with your body to what like your heart and your spirit want to continue doing.
Yeah. I feel like she's one of those people that when you meet her and you say, "Oh, I could never run a marathon because
And she'll give
dot
you a
dot dot."
million reasons why you can.
Yeah, because she's already overcome them and she's so inspiring.
She totally is. So that is what is going to be our episode next week. Hopefully you enjoyed, just like kind of getting a little bit of a taste of like what the updated like ET Full Moon Marathon, is. Oh, which by the way, we need to, before we close out ET Full Moon, we need to give a shout out to our friend Matt
Oh, and wait, and Courtney.
and Courtney.
Oh
Oh
my
my God.
God. Courtney, our trail angel. I love you,
Trail
Courtney.
Angel, Courtney. So, because I had gastro issues throughout the race, this morning, our buddy Courtney, she was a fellow runner. And she was like, "What do you need?" And she like pulls out this pouch and she's got packets of like
She was like a pharmacist.
packets of freaking everything. So I was like, I was explaining to her, I was like, "Oh, dude, I have the shit so bad." Like, and she's like, "Oh, you need Pepto-Bismol and you need
Imodium.
Imodium." And she gave me like two of each. So then like at some point I took one Imodium and then like, I don't know, maybe like 2 hours later, I'm like, "Lori, do you think I could take another Imodium?" And we're like, sure. Like, um, but Courtney was like my trail angel. Like, and
Yes.
we have done that with other people where we have given other people things that we have carried along with ourselves. But Courtney was truly my trail angel.
Yes, she was.
Yes, yes,
Awesome.
yes.
Good job, Courtney.
Yes. And the other thing I want to like make a comment on before we close out about the full moon marathon is that we came in under the cutoff time, but and like it was like way later in the race. And it was absolutely wonderful because the race staff still had everything all set up with food. They still had some music going at like
And
the
they were
end.
cheering like
Yes.
crazy for everybody who came
Every
up the
single
silver
person.
line. Every
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And the volunteers out on the course, still there. Amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. And so, so well done.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, but next week we will definitely go and, have a fantastic interview with Marie. In the interim, we just want to go and say thank you to all of our listeners. Like we have some old stories like we had last week. We have some really, really recent ones, kind of some raw ones because we were sitting at the bar and like at dinner half the day today. Um
I had a wonderful bottle of what was it? Well, from Saint Emilion,
yeah, it was
a
it was
Bordeaux
yeah,
red wine. We had a
yeah.
bottle. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, it is
It was delicious.
it is what it like, but these are some of our race weekends. So we're all about being raw. And that's part of the journey too. It's like not just enjoying the race and like the leading up to it, but it's also like post race and like what you do with it and how you enjoy it and how you take it in.
Can I just take a moment? Because
Absolutely.
we did have somebody that we talked to on course that was like, yeah, I'm doing the 50 states journey, just got to check off another state.
Yeah.
That is never how we have approached the 50
No.
states. And this is our second round, and we are not changing our approach. Highly recommend not trying to just check all the boxes. Slow down, take a moment, stay in places like Pioche, stay in places like Vegas, stay in places like that you've never even heard of before.
Valentine, Nebraska.
Valentine, Nebraska, which we're getting to eventually. The whole point of the process is learning about yourself through the racing and also learning about culture and your country. So just take a moment, take a deep breath, and actually plan and do it with purpose and intention.
Oh my God, I love that. I absolutely love that. So next week we're gonna talk to Marie.
Yep.
But in the interim, take all that in that Lori just said and go make mile 20 your bitch this week.
Peace out.